Hi mates, if you like to learn how to make this 6 pieces blouse with a front zipper and a stylish collar, then this video is definitely for you. My name is Veronica Adams Eze. Welcome to Vera Adams YouTube channel. So without wasting time, let's get started. For the sake of this tutorial, here's the pattern paper we'll be working on. I've gone ahead to draw the starting line, which serves as the shoulder line, and from there I've gone ahead to mark 4.5 inches, and right from the center of the paper I'm going in by 5 inches, and I make a mark right there. And from that 4.5 inches, I'm going to go ahead to take the normal measurement, which is shoulder to bust 10 inches, shoulder to under bust 13 inches, and shoulder to waist 16 inches. I'm going ahead to rule all these points out. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead to mark 2 inches right above the bust line, and that will serve as the chest line. On the actual shoulder line, I'm going to go ahead to take the shoulder measurement divided by 2, and I'll also take the same thing on the chest line and connect this together. Once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead to mark the neck width, which is 3 inches. I'll go down by 1 inch and connect it together to form the shoulder slope. Right on the chest line, I'm going to go ahead to mark 1/4 of the bust span measurement. Moving down to the waistline, I'm going to go ahead to mark the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches. I'll take the measurement right on the waistline, on the under bust line, and also on the bust line, and I'll draw a line to connect it as so. Kindly note where I started to take the nipple to nipple measurement from. Then on the waistline, I'm going to go out by 0.5 inches on both sides. Then I'll come down by 1 inch from the bust line and connect it to form the waist dart. Then I can go ahead to take the waist measurement here, and what I'm working with here is 32 inches divided by 4 is 8 inches, and I'll go ahead to add back the 1 inch for the dart. Here on the under bust line, I'm going to go ahead to mark the under bust measurement, and whatever I have left, I'm going to shear it around the dart leg. So I'm putting 1/2 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side. So my camera didn't record this, so I'll go ahead to explain what I did right here. So from the chest line, I came down by 1 inch, and from that point I came out by another 1 inch, and I did so also on the waistline, and I connected this together. This will serve as the zipper allowance, and from that point also I'm going to go ahead to connect it right to meet the neck width, and that will give us the V-shaped neckline. Now I can go ahead to get the armhole curve, and you already know how I go about this. Just divide whatever you have on the armhole line into 2, come in by 1/2 inch at that point, and with the help of your curve drill you can get your armhole curve. Right now I'll go ahead to extend this neckline upwards, just as you're seeing me doing right here. I'll go ahead to bring the pattern paper closer so you can see better. So right at that point, I'm going to go in by 0.25 inches and connect as so. And right at that point, I'm going to measure 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches. And then from that point, I'm going to determine the width of the collar. I've gone ahead to mark 2.5 inches. And right here from the shoulder slope, I'm going ahead to also mark 3.5 inches. And then I'll go ahead to connect it together. So automatically this part is not straight, it's a bit slanted, and that's perfect for the neck region. Right away from this zipper allowance, I have just 4 inches left. I should have left about 8 inches here rather than just 5, because the bigger the spaces you leave, the bigger the collar. So but I'm working with what I have here. So from that point, I'm going to use this slightly curved part of my ruler to form this shape. This is since we're following the shape that we have in the inspiration. Following the inspiration, this part is not so straight, so I'm going to go ahead to curve this inwards.
Moving on, I'm going to come up by 1 inch from the bust line, and I'll connect it to meet the midpoint on the armhole, and I'll connect it as so using the curved part of my ruler. And I also go ahead to extend that part so that when we're connecting, when we're sewing, we'll not have shortage.
From that point, I came down by 1 inch and I'm connecting to meet this point right here. Now I can go ahead to connect this extension to meet the bust measurement on the chest line. So right here, I'm trying to move the pattern paper around so we can see what we drafted so far. So right here, I've cut it out. Remember the slide curve that we made right here? So right here, I'm transferring it to after the zipper allowance. So we are going to be cancelling out the first one. So right at this point, you can start cutting out, and I'm going to start cutting right from here. Before we eventually cut everything out, I'm trying to show us right here what it looks like even right on the paper. So this is the neck region and here is the collar. So eventually I went ahead to cut that curved part that we did initially, the initial one. So when you're cutting yours, make sure that you start before the zipper allowance, okay? So right at this point, I'm going to move ahead to complete the cutting. I'm sure someone is wondering out there, where is the pieces going to come in? Just calm down, it's going to come in right now. So I'm going to go ahead to place a fresh pattern paper underneath this. I'm starting with the side bust because it is best for the pieces effect to start anywhere from the waistline. So that is why we have the waistline right there, and I'm taking the measurement for the blouse, which is 24 inches. You can do whatever you want. And on the side, I've gone ahead to leave 4.5 inches. You can do as much as you want depending on your fabric, because you have to be considerate of the amount of fabric that you have. So right from the waistline, I don't want something so straight, so I'm going to curve it a bit at the waistline, then I'll bring it down just as you're seeing me doing here, and I'll do that also on the other side. So at the end, you have a flay-like effect. Because I really don't want something so straight, so I'm going to be coming up by 1 inch on both sides, and I'm going to connecting to meet the mid of this flay effect, just as you are seeing me doing right here. So we have something that is slightly curved at the bottom. So we are done with this. We're going to move ahead to the center front, and here it is. So I've also gone ahead to place a fresh paper underneath it, and right from the waistline, I've measured the full length also at 24 inches. I've also left 4.5 inches rather on both sides. And just like I did earlier, I'm doing a slight curve because of course you know how the waistline is like curved inwards. So that's what I was trying to do there, and I've connected it down. So right here, I'm also going to do a slight curve on just one side of the pattern paper, and of course I'll go ahead to cut it out. Right at this point, we're done with the front bodice and we'll move ahead to the back bodice. So right here, I've already gone ahead to draft the basic bodice. If you don't know how to do this, I have a detailed tutorial that shows you how to do this step by step. So this is a waist dart, but I'm going to go ahead to make it a princess dart. So that is what I'm doing right here. And because I don't want shortage, I'll go ahead to bring in a fresh paper at the armhole region. And just like we made an extension on the front bodice, I'm going to go ahead to do same here on the back bodice. Just watch the way that I'm doing it. So I discovered that I didn't take the back slope while I was drafting this. So when you're doing yours, do not forget to take out the back slope to avoid bulging. Now that this is done, I can move ahead to creating the pieces effects. So just in the same manner that I did for the front, I'm going to also go ahead to do for the back. I'm going to be taking it from the waistline 16 inches, measure the full length, and also left 4.5 inches on each side. Putting in the slide curve at the waistline and then connecting it downwards to form the flay-like effect. At this point, I'm sure that you all understand how to create this 6 pieces effect. If you still don't get it, I suggest that you watch it again, and I'm sure that by the time you watch it the second time, you fully understand it. And if after watching you have any question, do not hesitate to drop it in the comment section. I'll be there to respond to you. If you saw this video this far and you are yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel if you found the video useful. And to my already subscribed subscribers here, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found this helpful. I went ahead to do the play effect on the center back off camera. So now we have the back pieces, and here is the front pieces as well. I'll go ahead to tape the front pieces down so you see what it looks like. So here is what it looks like when I taped it down. You can see the flay effect at the bottom. You can imagine what this would look like on your fabric. I really hope that you found this useful. If you did, leave a comment in the comment section, and do well to share to family and friends that are also sewmates, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.